Greetings, future gods and goddesses in training. Today's video is quite simple. I'm Uncle Makara, welcome to the channel. The vacuum law is creating a space for all the good that you desire. So start to understand that if you want to manifest something, you gotta first of all remove what is already there. So if you want to find your soulmate and you're stuck in your old relationship, still kind of connecting with each other, you're not going to create a new space for a newer relationship. The same thing with work, okay? If you're stuck at your old job, you first of all have to stop being at that job, okay? You might be unemployed for a while, but then you'll start to find new work, okay? So it works like this, guys. Nature hates vacuums. So it fills it with something new. So whenever there's a vacuum, there's a new potential or possibility for new synchronicities to come in. And we learned this from an adept channeling that we did for adepts only of PRIMAL SUTRA, okay? Very, very powerful datum here. I really want you guys to understand this because this is something that's quite next level. This is the vacuum law of prosperity from Bob Proctor. And we got it installed through the language of King Akurbo. Have you ever noticed this? You start cleaning up your place and then you suddenly find something that you lost. This is the quality of what I'm talking about here. I noticed when I cleaned my altar, there was new energies in my room all of a sudden. Very strange, okay? But it felt like there was new air that was traveling, new energy that is being shared across different parts of my room. And the more I think about it, the more I understand the power of this understanding of autotelic, because I've been refining it over the years and now I'm really starting to get it. I'm starting to get it on a different level of being unattached to the outcome, right? Being the outcome, becoming the outcome, and thinking from that goal instead of thinking about it logically and filling my mind with it by understanding the intelligence behind it and so forth. I want this deep knowingness with it. So we feel insecure. That's why we hold on to things. However, understand that your security isn't tied to your bank balance, isn't tied to your identity, isn't tied to the way that you have set up your life, okay? Your insecurity is something that's created internally through your own self-narrative, how you're telling the story of your life. So the most important thing for you to do is understand, are you really believing in you? That's the number one thing you want to understand. And then from there, you understand, let me create some new space. Have you ever cleaned out your closet? Cleaning out my closet, right? I'm sorry, mama. Dun, dun. I never meant to hurt you. Oh yeah, good old Pawnee. So you go around your space and you start creating vacuums. You start minimizing, okay? There's a lot of people who live like hoarders, right? Like rats. I haven't thrown away a lot of shit that I realize, and I'm starting to realize, man, I really need to get rid of this stuff. Like, this has been why I haven't been manifesting, is this law. It's this law, man. And you got to understand this law, because we hold precious our memories and we don't want to let these things go, and we have all of these storylines attached to it. And yeah, okay, I'm not saying to get rid of something that's meaningful to you, but there are a bunch of irrelevant items of clothing or a bunch of things that you've moved on from, but they're physically still there in your space. You get what I mean? Like some old cardboard box just hidden in your cupboard somewhere. You'll notice if you get rid of that cardboard box, there will be new creativity, new ideas just suddenly emerging out of the blue. And don't like just take this video and then just think, oh yeah, okay, that's fine. Go and try it out yourself. Like really try it out yourself. Like clean out your desk or whatever. I'm going to do that next, right? Clean out your desk, because that's going to help you to create a new space of what? Work energy. You will actually remain focused because there won't be all of this distraction. You see what I mean? Like, we got to understand how to take back our attention towards the things that we truly prefer and defend the honor. So last night we came up with this very powerful light code. We made it for the adepts, and basically the idea was the defenders of joy. Okay, I want you to really hear that and understand what that is. The defenders of joy. A lot of people discount or push away joy when it's one of the highest vibrations. So what if you defended that joy? You created a privilege for you to live like that. You started to change your relationship to joy. Because a lot of people, they think joy of like this Pollyanna sunshine, like everything's vibrant and colorful, right? And it doesn't have to be. Joy can be just a deep present feeling where you're just relaxed and you're feeling uplifted about something. You see what I'm saying? So I understand this is all a movie. You see what I'm saying? I understand that this is all a movie, and the movie reel keeps playing no matter what. That's why I named myself Scripts. I understood something about the way that being seen can change us. But if we became really intentional about how we embody our emotions, it would really help us to use our character wisely. Now it's a unit. It's not a liability, it's a reliability. You see what I'm saying? So you want to create this vibe where you're being in this constructionist mode. Because honestly, someone can be critical about my actions. I recently had that happen, okay, quite recently. One of my mentors, AZD, pointed out that I was making a post that was off code, and I understood that. It was actually really good feedback. I needed to hear that. Tough love is needed. I hear that because that man knows that specific field. So he is a champion in the field of social dynamics. And if he's telling me that, that's something for me to really look at. That's not for me to get triggered by and discount and yeah, whatever. It's for me to really listen. And when I heard what he was saying, he was on point. I noticed that sometimes we manufacture the ways that we show ourselves in the world. And it's funny because this is the hypocritical element of this. The whole post was about approval and acceptance and how that's a disgusting trait. However, it's almost like the post itself was shadow work for me in a sense, which is powerful. To even think about it. So meta, right? It goes so meta. I want you guys to really understand something. When you create a blank slate again, the universe will give you what it is you need. So you're thinking, how will I get that? But how will I do that? But how is the ego trying to predict the dangers or the pros or the advancements? It's trying to measure the disadvantages and advantages of the situation. You got to be very, very clear about where it is that you are turning your attention towards. And you understand that if you clean snow out of the way, there will be more snow the next day over it. And that's the vacuum law. Nature continues to fill whatever is empty space. I believe that this is my own addition to this law, is the vacuum becomes like a vortex of magnetism. Because if you can remain in that zero and have nature almost try to confront you, you start to now be the one who's like, okay, I choose this and I choose that. And then you quantum jump from that zero. This is very, very powerful, because when you are at that choice point and you can actually decide, like, I'm going to get rid of this and I'm going to adopt these habits, you start to impact not only you, but you'll notice it impacts everyone around you too. Your energy levels, your focus, your determination will determine theirs. I was thinking that my memory was being affected because, you know, my family has a history of Alzheimer's and things like this, so I get scared of that stuff, you know, man, and I'm getting older. So I started to catch myself in moments of my brain going like this. And I noticed that it's kind of like my mind was telling me that this, like, symptoms of ADHD and so forth. I understood that these chemicals of focus are within my control. It's just we've been programmed to be distracted. We've been programmed to have short attention spans. So that means we have to be really responsible with how we are pushing our minds. And we've got to create a mental security system that when your subconscious goes into that place, do you have any renditions or alternatives? One of our adept members, Mathis, one of our initiates, was talking about this, okay? Very, very interesting stuff, man. This is very interesting because how did this come up? I get Ryan asking me a lot of questions. Ryan is my business partner, PRIMAL Sutra, also one of my best friends. And he told me that this woman, that I believe his family's connected to this woman, and she lost her driver's license. So the first thing I thought of was the vacuum law, because I was asking whether her car was clean, right? What if she took the car to the car wash and she cleaned up the different, you know, old gum wrappers or like random stuff around the car, you know, that you leave, or and there might be dust there and so forth. Like, you might not find the driver's license right then and there, but you are making the probability of magnetism for the vacuum law to take place because you're cleaning, because you're purifying. You see, that's why if you sage an environment, it changes the frequency. And that's also, if you really, really notice how powerful this is, guys, Ramakrishna, right? He met Kali once and his whole worldview changed, completely shifted. Okay? When you work with an actual deva or an energy like that, there is rapid transformation in your beingness. If you're not getting that rapid transformation, there's something off with the way that your spiritual process is going right now. We want you to regain your momentum back. Okay? And Primal Sutra is one of these codes, and I'm not just saying that to sell you something or whatever, but just like genuinely, this is a process that has helped me transform my life. And I'm just simply sharing, I'm just passing on the torch to other people who understand what's going on underneath the surface. This is a movement, guys. It's bubbling up, it's transforming itself. It's taking on a hive mind of its own, which is why it's so crucial. Right now, guys, we have this family tree sigil that we can actually place in the astral, almost like a bat signal, so that other path workings, other guilds, other energies that try to mess with us or come across us in the astral will be able to recognize that is Primal Sutra. So for you astral travelers out there, try and see if you can locate us in the astral. Test out the theory, okay? Because we have multiple systems in place right now. You got to know which stories to let go of, which you're so attached to, that's actually preventing you from manifesting. Again, that's still the vacuum law. So I believe that the vacuum law applies to the mind too. If you're holding a lot of mental stories and garbage and feeding it each day, it's going to grow bigger. There's going to be what? More gunk accumulated. But as soon as, let's say you go through my program, Flomo Sapien, right? Complete energetic tune-up of all the chakra points until the 8th character integration day. Let's say you go through that process and you're on crown chakra day and the week after, you're going to start to feel different. There are going to be new energies, new possibilities that are going to come through after an event like that, because the old residue of the energy has left. The vacuum has been created now from the empty space. So that feeling of emptiness that you got when you released that trauma from your anger when you were younger, now there's an empty space. So the universe might just give you something over that in that empty space. But before the universe gets to decide, this is why it's a co-creation, watch yesterday's video, you want to co-create with the universe now to create an intention around that and understand what is your will and God's will and how does it meet, where does it meet. And once you can really get that code, you can start moving forward with this law. Honestly, for a creative person who's very disorganized and likes to leave a mess around everywhere, not really paying attention to that stuff, this law is my saving grace. You guys get that? Like, understanding the logic and the magic and the psychology behind this and why cleaning your room is so essential. You are creating mental structure in the physical world, therefore affecting your metaphysical world. So that's how I want you to understand it. Don't think about these words, organization. It's just such a lame word, right? Even goals and stuff like this. Don't use normie words, okay? Intentions instead of goals, as we learned from King Akurbo yesterday. Alignment instead of organization. Alignment is everything has its role to play in space. Understanding that there's a harmony understand that there's a harmony in which each energy flows and goes. And sometimes energies entangle. So just like, you opening up your earphones, when it tangles up, right? And you sort of have to be zen when you do that, right? You can't just be like frustrated or out of your mind. It's going to rip or something, right? So you really have to be precise in that motion of unentangling the headphones. Similarly to the emotions, you have to be very, very conscious about how you're letting it go, how you're sealing that, and how you're preventing yourself from making the similar mistake in the future, right? Have you adapted it towards your character enough that you are now at a different standard or a different precipice on your journey, okay? And this journey is always happening constantly through different evolutions like Pokemon, right? Hero's journey, the prince's journey, the king's journey, the goddess's journey, okay? The huntress's journey, the warrior's journey. It keeps going, right? There's different journeys that you go on. And depending on your phase of life, how old you are and so forth, you're going to be gravitating towards much more different things. So start to understand it all kind of fuses together to create your vibe, your specific frequency, your aura signature, right? Your vibration blueprint, as we call it. As we move forward with that, we'll really start to give you the actualization of the goals and the gifts that you truly wish to align for yourself. So this is how we do it. We are Primal Sutra. Let's get it, guys. Upward Spiral Gang. I'll see you on the other side. Os.